Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead. This is Ashu and today we will discuss very important current affairs of 3rd of November 2020. You can see here two very best images, that is the 3rd of November 2020, but today we will discuss 7 to 8 very important current affairs of 3rd of November. But before proceeding, I want to discuss 2 or 3 things with you. One is the Affairs Cloud subscription. You can buy our Affairs Cloud subscription by 2 methods. You can visit our website, that is affairscloud/current affairs, or you can directly go to the description box of this video. Below this video there is a description box and here is a link given to the subscription. You can directly visit the subscription link. What you will get in the subscription? You will get the daily current affairs. It means you will get the daily PDFs, you will get the weekly PDFs, you will get the weekly test, very important to evaluate yourself. You will get the monthly PDF, and in the monthly PDF section you will basically get the 5 PDFs. One is related to the top 100 current affairs of the month. Second is basically banking, finance, the economy PDF. This is very relevant for the banking exam aspirants. And current affairs pocket PDF. This is, as the name suggests, this is very important to revise the current affair. And last but not the least, that is the question and answer PDF. All the current affairs of the month will be converted into the question and answer form so that you can retain and revise the current affair very easily. So guys, this is very important. Now we are getting this at very minimal cost. It means these current affairs are provided at very minimal cost. If you see the price, you will surprised to see the price, and on that price we are giving you 10% extra discount. If you use this code, that is ASH10, then you will get the 10% extra discount. Now you can see here, and we are starting basically the next 3rd of November video, and here is our first question. Which department ties up with Invest India to set up strategic policy unit? And this strategic policy unit will be known as the SPFB. So what is the full form of SPFB? That is the Strategic Policy and the Facilitation Bureau. And this time it is the Ministry of Ayush, guys. This time it is the Ministry of Ayush. So you have to remember that Ayush stands for the Ayurveda, Yoga. Next is the Yoga and Neuropathy basically. U stands for the Unani, S stands for the Siddha, and H stands for the Homeopathy. And you know who is the Minister of the Ayush? That is the Shripad Yesso Naik. That is the Union Minister of State. That is independent charge is given to the Shripad Yesso Naik ji. So this ministry basically founded by Modi ji in 2014. You have to remember this also. Now let's talk about this Invest in India Setup Strategic Unit. You can see here the both Invest India, that is the National Investment Promotion and Facilitation Agency, and this is the Ministry of Ayush. Both jointly set up Strategic Policy and Facilitation Bureau. How will they work? Invest India basically collaborate to set up Strategic Policy Unit, that is known as the SPFB, and it is to facilitate planned and systematic growth of the Ayush sector. It means the Invest India basically strategize some policy making so that Ayush ministry can grow or the Ayush sector can grow. SFB Bureau will support the Ayush Ministry in strategic and the policy making initiatives. It means they will basically help the Ayush Ministry so that the maximum to maximum people can benefit from the Ayush sector or the Ayush Ministry. Because Ayush is very important nowadays, and this ministry is very important due to the COVID-19 situation. Due to COVID-19, all persons are basically going to buy Ayurveda things. All persons are doing yoga, and all persons are basically buying the homeopathy medicine so that maximum to maximum immunity can be raised. So this is the basic purpose of the Ayush ministry. Maximum to maximum reach can be possible. Both entities will frame the work plan for the bureau and define its short and long term targets. So one more important thing, that is just to grow the Ayush sector, and all the things will be planned by the Investment India. And so remember, Ministry of Ayush, and I told you who is the Ministry of Ayush, who is the Minister of Ayush, and it is founded in 2014, guys. So remember all the things I told about. Now moving to our next question. Here is our next question. Which institute and IOCL signs MOU for hydrogen generation technology so that the fuel cost can be minimized? And all you know about the IOCL, that is the Indian Oil Corporation Limited. Its headquarters is in New Delhi. And who is the chairman of IOCL? That is the Shrikant Madhav. Shrikant Madhav. Remember this, Shrikant Madhav. And the organization, or you can say the institute, is the Indian Institute of Science. You can say that Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru. And they are tying up with the research and development of the IOCL so that both can set up or both can jointly research on the hydrogen generation technology so that fuel cost can be minimized. You can see in the picture that IISc and the Indian Oil signs MOU for hydrogen generation technology. Now, it is to develop and demonstrate biomass gasification based hydrogen generation technology. They will use the biomass things and will basically convert into the hydrogen generation technology so that fuel cost can be minimized. It is to produce fuel cell grade hydrogen at an economical price. So I already told you it is just to reduce the price of the fuel. So it can be a best alternative. You can say if you are comparison with the petrol or the diesel, then it can be used in the as a fuel. And what about IISc? I already told you the location is Bengaluru, Karnataka. Just remember the headquarter. No need to remember the director. Director is the Govindan Rangarajan, but no need to remember. It is not so much important. Just remember the location of IISc, and it is Bengaluru. And Karnataka is very famous, guys. Karnataka, like you can say, there is a Nagarhole National Park is there. There is a, you can say, the Bandipur National Park is also in Karnataka. Banerghatta National Park is also in Karnataka. Kali Tiger Reserve is also in Karnataka. So many things in the Karnataka, and there is a Kudremukh National Park and Kudremukh Mines also in. So I'm repeating again all the Nagarhole National Park, Kudremukh Mines and the Kudremukh National Park, Kali Tiger Reserve, guys, there. Banerghatta and Bandipur, very important. Bandipur and the Banerghatta. Remember this Bandipur, guys. And Karnataka is on the second number on the tiger population, that is 524. And Madhya Pradesh is on the first, that is on the tiger reserve. So remember, maximum tiger population lies with the MP, that is 526. And the second number is the goes to the Karnataka. So many information about the Karnataka. But you have to remember IISc, that is tie up for the hydrogen generation technology with the IOCL. So remember the two organization and the keyword, that is the hydrogen generation technology. Your question will mark right. Now moving to next question. CSIR, CSIO, and which company sign MOU for joint development of futuristic solution? Not so much important question, but because we are not leaving any question, so that's why I am covered this type of the question. But this is not so much important. You all know that CSIR, that is the you can say Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, and CSIO stands for the Center of Scientific Instruments Organization. They signed the memorandum of understanding, basically MOU, with which company? And this time it is the Dynamic Technology Limited. Now, why they signed the technology MOU? They basically want to design, develop, and the manufacturing solutions for the futuristic generations, or you can simply say for designing, developing, and the manufacturing futuristic solution for defense and aerospace, healthcare, agriculture industry, and so many industries. But they are basically focusing on the Indian vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat. So just remember this word, that is the Dynamic Technology Limited, and this word CSIO or the CSIR. You can just want to cover the question, then these two words can cover question for you guys. So remember this. Dynamic Inc. pact with the CSIRO for joint development of futuristic solution. For what purposes? For designing, developing, and manufacturing of for defense and aerospace, healthcare, and agriculture industries. So moving to next question. That this was not so much important. Chief Justice of India Sharad Arvind Bobde, all you know that he is currently the Chief Justice of India, S.A. Bobde, inaugurates India's first ever e-resource center, that is Nyay Kaushal virtual court in which state? This is most important question, guys. Mark under the most important section. The word Nyay Kaushal, I especially highlight this word with another color so you can remember Nyay Kaushal. This keyword you have to remember, and it is inaugurated by S.A. Bobde, but it will not be asked. The main question, the Nyay Kaushal is for what purpose, and Nyay Kaushal is in which state, or the in the state which city belongs to the Nyay Kaushal. First of all, I am telling you the state, that is the Maharashtra, and city is the Nagpur. So remember, if they are asking about the city, then it is Nagpur, and if they are talking about the state, then you have to mark the Maharashtra. Now, what is the function of Nyay Kaushal? You can see in the picture that Shri Justice Shri Sharad Arvind Bobde, first ever e-resource center, Nyay Kaushal e-resource center, that is in the Nagpur, guys. Now, what is the function of this e-resource? Nyay Kaushal is basically India's first ever e-resource center and virtual court for the Maharashtra Transport and Traffic Department, at Judicial Officers Training Institute in Nagpur, Maharashtra. Nyay Kaushal will facilitate electronic filing. Electronic filing, it means you can file the cases online in Supreme Court, High Court, and the district courts across the country, guys. This is most important word, Nyay Kaushal. It means now you can file the cases at online platform. It means you can file the electronic mode of cases in Supreme Court as well as High Court and the district courts across the country, not only for the Maharashtra High Court. It is for all the high courts and the district courts. How many high courts are there? There are 25 high courts there, and district courts and the Supreme Court. The virtual court will deal with all traffic challans cases every corner of Maharashtra online, because it is basically a virtual court for the Maharashtra Transport and Traffic Department. That's why you can basically pay the online challan for every Maharashtra. You can say every Maharashtra corner. It means if you want to fill the challan for the transport department, then you can basically file online. So this is the basic purpose. So remember, it is the Nagpur, Maharashtra. And you all know about how many judges in the Supreme Court. There are 34 judges in the Supreme Court. And when Supreme Court was established, firstly it was established in 1774 by the Regulating Act of 1773, guys. But the headquarter of the Supreme Court, it means the building of the Supreme Court, lies in the Calcutta, it means Bengal. But in 1950, after the constitution passed, then we shifted the building to the New Delhi. And it can be shifted again by the Chief Justice of India, but with prior consultation of the President. So remember these 2 or 3 facts so that you can remember all the facts about the Supreme Court. Next question from the picture, not so much important. Government provides rupees 670 crore support to the regional rural banks to meet regulatory capital. They just provided some type of the fund to the regional rural banks so that the maximum to maximum money can be infused in the market and the capital flow of the money can be increased so that the growth can be achieved. So this is the not so much important, but there is a word important, that is the regional rural bank. You have to remember, first RRB was established on, yes guys, on 2nd October 1975 on the Gandhi's birthday, that is in Moradabad, UP, and it is known as the Prathama Gramin Bank, because Prathama means that is the first Gramin Bank. So remember, and RRB Act comes after 1 year, that is in 1776. So you can say so little organization or so less organization which are coming before their act. So it is the RRB that established in 1975, but act comes in the 1976, not 1776, that is the 1976. Move to next question. Who won Amit Lehe Award 2020? So remember, important question, mark under important question. Who won Amit Lehe Award? I think you guys don't know about this award. I think you are listening first time. That is the Amit Lehe Award. This award basically instituted in 1967 in the United States of America, and it is just to honor the pioneers in the field of the information. In the field of information, if you want to elaborate, I can elaborate that just to honor the pioneers in the field of innovation or information and the record management, and the winners were awarded with the you can say the Amit Lehi coin. That is very important, and this time this person is the Dinesh Katre. So remember, Dinesh Katre awarded with this Amit Lehi award. So just guys remember this award and the name of the person, because awards are very useful for the banking exams. You can see the picture of the Dinesh Katre, Pune technological expert, that is the Dinesh Katre, wins Amit Lehme award. Why he won this award? It means why the award committee recognized this person? Because of his sustained leadership on the issues of digital innovation and preservation over the past years, and for his endeavors in creating the National Digital Preservation Program. Remember, National Digital Preservation Program and its flagship project, that is the Center of Excellence for Digital Preservation. Because this person, Dr. Dinesh Katre, is the Senior Director and Head of Department, that is the Human Centered Design and Computing Group, that is the CDAC community in Pune. You have to remember CDAC. I think you know that CDAC headquarters is in Pune, and he is currently the Senior Director and the Head of the department. So CDAC, guys, this organization is important. So remember CDAC Pune. And who is the Director General of CDAC? That is the Dr. Hemant Darbari, and headquarter. You have to just remember the headquarter, that is Pune, Maharashtra. Move to next question. Who won Emilia Romagna Grand Prix 2020? And guys, it is held in Italy, and it is the 93rd victory of this person. 93rd victory in F1 races, that is the Formula 1 races? And guys, the answer is very simple, that is the Lewis Hamilton, because last time he won 92nd and he basically you can say he crossed the record of the Michael Schumacher, because Michael Schumacher won 91 Formula races and this is the 92nd, and this time it is the 93rd. It means now 2 races above than the Michael Schumacher. So remember, Emilia Romagna Grand Prix 2020 held in Italy, and it is won by the Lewis Hamilton. Belong to the you can Britain, or you can say that it is the he is the British driver, and belongs to the Mercedes. And it is the again one record that 7 titles in consecutive races, that is won by the Mercedes. And with 7 titles, Mercedes has overtaken Ferrari for the record of consecutive constructor title championships. Mercedes had matched Ferrari record in 2019, but now Mercedes you can cross the Ferrari record, that is winning 7 titles consecutively. So remember, Lewis Hamilton belongs to the Mercedes. You can see here, Lewis Hamilton wins Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, that is the 93rd win of the Formula 1. But most important question, that he crossed the Michael Schumacher record of 91 winnings. Moving to next question, who was the author of book title, that is the Pandemonium, the Great Indian Banking Tragedy? Remember this word, that is the Pandemonium, the Great Indian Banking Tragedy. And guys, this book is written by the Tamal Bandyopadhyay, or you can say the Tamal Banerjee, you can also pronounce as the Banerjee, because Britisher changed so many names like Bandyopadhyay to Banerjee, and Mukhopadhyay to Mukherjee, and Chattopadhyay to Chatterjee. So remember, Tamal Bandyopadhyay is the author of the Pandemonium, the Great Indian Banking Tragedy. This book basically signifies the banking system and their NPAs and the balance sheets of the banking system and the intervention of the RBI in the banking system. This book basically highlights the system of the banking. You can see the Great Indian Banking Tragedy, that is the Pandemonium. Remember, the author is the Tamal Bandyopadhyay. Now moving to next, which institute will release Till We Win book on COVID-19? This is, guys, important. Mark under important section because the name is easy, that is Till We Win. I am giving you one hint that this book is written by Randeep Guleria ji. Randeep Guleria ji, very much news, very much in news due to COVID-19. Randeep Guleria ji, and he is currently the director of the AIIMS, guys. Director of the AIIMS. That's why I am saying that he is in news. That is All India Institute of Medical Sciences, and that's why this book is basically released by the institute AIIMS, and it will be basically released, not released yet, but it will be released by the this AIIMS Institute in the last of the November 2020. So you can remember, it is written by the Randeep Guleria ji, that is the main author. Otherwise, there are 2 more authors or the co-authors, but main author is the AIIMS director, that is Randeep Guleria. You can see the book here. That is Randeep Guleria, Dr. Gagandeep Kang, Dr. Chandrakant Lahiria, but you can remember the only name Dr. Randeep Guleria because he is currently the director of the AIIMS, and the book name is the Till We Win, and you can see the logo, that is the Penguin Publishers. It means it is published by the Penguin Random House or the Penguin Publishers. So remember, this is very important. Now moving to next question, which state launched fortified rice distribution and English medium school scheme during Rajya Utsav? It means recently the state celebrated the inauguration of the state. It means the birth of the state, or you can say the Rajya Utsav. And that state is the, guys, Chhattisgarh. And the Chhattisgarh state launched 2 types of the scheme. One is the fortified rice distribution scheme, and second is the English medium school schemes. Now let us know about these schemes. Now Chhattisgarh Chief Minister, you can see here, fortified rice English medium school scheme. It means there are 2 schemes. One is related to the food grains and second is related to the English medium school. Second scheme is, by the name you can guess, that is just to provide the English language, or to increase the efficiency of the English language to the students. Now Chhattisgarh came to existence on November 1st, 2000. Guys, remember, November 1st, 2000, after the bifurcation of the Madhya Pradesh. When Madhya Pradesh bifurcated, then it basically Chhattisgarh become the state on the 1st November 2000. The fortified rice distribution scheme will be launched on pilot basis on the Kondagaon district on the state, which will aid in checking malnutrition and anemia, guys. This is important because this will eliminate the malnutrition and anemia in the state. And why we are using this word, that is the fortified rice instead of only rice, because there is a significance of the fortified rice. Fortified rice basically is a mixture of iron, you can say mixture of iron, vitamin V12, and the folic acid under the you can say fortified rice. It basically meets the nutrition requirement in the diet, thereby help in controlling the malnutrition and anemia. So very basic that it is a combination of the three things: iron, B12 and the folic acid. So guys, remember what is the fortified rice. Now second is the Swami Atmanand Government English Medium School Scheme. I already told you, by the name you can guess, for setting up English medium schools which aims to providing education in English to the children, so that the fluency in the English or the education in the English can be increased and they can basically touch up the global levels. So this is the important things by the Chhattisgarh government. And all you know, the Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh is the Bhupesh Baghel. And very important national park in the Chhattisgarh, that is the Indravati National Park. Remember Indravati, or you can say that is the Kutru National Park. You can also remember this name, Kutru National Park or the Indravati National Park. Indravati basically a river going from the Chhattisgarh to the Godavari area. That Indravati is a tributary of the Godavari. So remember this. Which state inaugurated first Raithu Vedika scheme? Guys, mark under the most important, because it is the most important question and it is just to increase the income of the farmers, and very important scheme. So remember, first Raithu Vedika scheme, and I am giving you hint that the chief minister name, the chief minister of Telangana, that is the Chandrasekhar Rao. That's why the state is the Telangana. So remember, this time this first Raithu Vedika scheme is launched by the Telangana chief minister, that is the Chandrasekhar Rao. Raithu Vedika scheme to address farmer issues, and it will basically increase the farmer initiatives. Raithu Vedika, Telangana government initiative to address the issues faced by the farmers by bringing them under one platform and help them to attain higher returns. Now you have to remember what they are providing under this, that is the Raithu Vedika. They are also launching Mission Bhagirath. What is the Mission Bhagirath? Will provide tap water to the Raithu Vedikas. Will provide the tap water to the Raithu Vedikas, and each Raithu Vedika will have 2 rooms and 2 toilets. And even they are also providing a plinth of area about 2000 square kilometer. Telangana is the only state, guys, remember, which I am telling you, Telangana is the only state which is purchasing grains from the farmers directly. That will also help them in long run, because it will increase the income of the farmers. So remember, I am repeating again, Telangana is the only state which is purchasing grains from the farmers directly, no intermediator, directly from the farmers, and it will help to enhance the income of the farmers. So remember, Raithu Vedika. And you know, Telangana capital is the Hyderabad. I already told you, the Chief Minister Chandrasekhar Rao. And very important national park is the Mahavir Harina National Park, remember, in the Telangana area. Now next, from the picture, you can learn from the picture that Tamil Nadu Agriculture Minister, that is the Durai Kannu. If I am not wrong in the pronunciation, then forgive me, that Durai Kannu dies, and he was the Tamil Nadu Agriculture Minister. And he belongs to which party? He was belonged to basically AIADMK party, that is the All India Anna Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam. So remember, AIADMK Minister of the Agriculture related to the Tamil Nadu state dies, and he died basically at the age of the 72, and he died due to the COVID-19. Guys, remember the name of the chief minister. So it is very important for the Tamil Nadu students, but you can remember the news at national level also. Now moving to next question, and guys, it is very important, mark under very important section. I think you remember the dialogue, that is Bond, James Bond, that is the James Bond actor. Sean Connery dies. It means basically this word pronunciation as the Sean Connery dies. And why this person is so important? Because he was the first James Bond. It means he was the James Bond in the first 5 films. And the first James Bond film is the Dr. No. And he was the first time acted as a James Bond. So remember, the name of the person is very important, that is the Sean Connery. And remember this movie, that is the Dr. No. That is the first James Bond movie released in 1962, and he was the first James Bond. Sean Connery. This question will come in the banking exam. I am sure that this question will come. So guys, moving to next question, that is the World Vegan Day or the World Vegan Day. So you can remember on the 1st November 2020 that you can shift on the vegan diet, and this is very important to provide the nutritional assessment to your food. This is important, and this day is celebrated just to create awareness about the vegan diet. Why they want to promote the vegan diet? Because this is not only for the welfare of animals but also for an environment, because the animal products are not used in the vegan diet. That's why they just not only want to the welfare of animals, they just want to protect the environment also. And it is celebrated by organizing a number of festivals and exhibitions by vegan societies. And this day basically founded by the Vegan Society in the United Kingdom, which was established in 1944. But no need to remember, just remember from the 1st of November, we will start the vegan diet. That is how you can remember this word. That is the vegan day. Move to next question. That is the International Day to End Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists, 2nd November 2020. And guys, what is the meaning of impunity? Impunity means that exemption from punishment from the injurious consequences of an action. The day also aims to raise awareness about all attack against journalists and the media workers. Because in India, in the past, you can see that so many journalists killed, and this day is basically to raise awareness about the all attacks against journalists and the media workers. It meant right to freedom. It is just attack not only on the media and the journalists. This is basically attack on the right to freedom. So that's why we have to focus on this type of the crimes, and we have to reduce this type of the crimes by giving the severe punishment. So guys, remember, it is the 2nd of the November that we just creating awareness against crime against the journalist or the media, or you can say the right to freedom. This is very important. Now, last section, that is the important points to remember, that Jitendra Singh laid foundation stone virtually for the comprehensive Mansar Lake Development Plan, Jammu. Now, one question related to this news, you can see recently Mansar Lake was in news. The question can be asked by the examiner. This lake is in which state? I already told you. Who basically learned from the last slide, they can basically answer. That is the Jammu and Kashmir. That Mansar Lake belongs to the Jammu and Kashmir. And recently, Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh inaugurates Mansar Lake Development Plan in Jammu. No need to remember the news. Just remember this lake, Mansar Lake, because there are so many lakes, right? Dal Lake, there is Wooler Lake, that is the largest freshwater lake of India, and there is a Mansar Lake also in the Jammu and Kashmir. Remember these 3 lakes in the Jammu and Kashmir. Next point, note to remember, just read. That is the Periclymines. If I am wrong in the pronunciation, just forgive me. That is the Periclymines. Agatti. Agatti is a name in the basically island of the, you can say, in the Lakshadweep. And second is the Urocaridula Arabiensis. Arabian means the Arabian Sea. So I am basically giving you hint how you can recognize the options. That there is a Lakshadweep, there is a Agatti. Agatti is basically a area in the Kavaratti port. That is the Agatti. And you can see one more thing, that is the Arabian Sea. This is the Arabian Sea. So these 2 type of the species related to the shrimp discovered from the Lakshadweep Island. So very simple question. If you basically don't want to remember this name, that is the Urocaridula or the Periclymines, that is very difficult name. Even I'm not able to pronounce these. So remember the Agatti and the Arabiensis. These are the shrimp discovered in the Lakshadweep Island. The basic news is the coral reef. Coral reefs in India are found in the 4 places. Like one is the Lakshadweep, second is the Andaman and Nicobar, third is the Gulf of Mannar, and 4th one is the Run of Kutch. So remember, there are 4 coral reefs area in India. So you can see here, new shrimp species found in the Indian coral reef, that is the Lakshadweep. So guys, this is very important for you, and we are fixing the time for our current affairs. That time for the English current affairs, that is 11 a.m. We will update on the YouTube, or we will upload on the YouTube that before or on 11 a.m. or just 15 or 20 minutes on or before. So you can remember, the English current affairs will come on the 11 a.m. and Hindi current affair will come on the 6 p.m. So this is the time for from tomorrow. You have to remember the time, and it is fixed now, and you will get the current affairs on time. And thank you guys for watching this video. Please subscribe this channel, and guys, provide 300 likes so that we can make more video on the different content. And if you are providing consistently, we will definitely make more videos. And Affairs Cloud will boost your confidence on general awareness section. And it is my promise that if you're watching the current affairs regularly for 1 month, And if you are reading our current affairs PDF, then it will benefit your current affairs section, and your current affairs section will go strong. Thank you guys for watching this video, and take care.